Recently, I made a video talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves and their horrible handling of not only their draft assets, but their all-star bigs, and I dubbed them the worst team when it came to this. But the Orlando Magic are giving them a run for their money. Just a couple hours ago, the Orlando Magic traded all-star center Nikola Vucevic, the Chicago Bulls for Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter, and 2 first-round picks. An obvious highway robbery aside, this has been a consistent theme with the Magic, getting all-star level talent and either not being able to develop it or letting them walk. So today in this video, we'll mostly be talking about the ins and outs of this trade, on a lesser extent, the Magic history of being completely incompetent in these moments. But before I get started, hi, I'm FLB. I'm a huge basketball fan and an even bigger Miami Heat fan. I do basketball videos here on YouTube, normally every Wednesday and Saturday. This is different because of circumstances. So if you like basketball, I highly recommend that you subscribe. It's the best way to help the channel grow, and I'd love to have you back.
You suck!
Now, as you look at this trade on the surface level, it may look normal. A losing team trading away an aging all-star for picks and young guys seem normal, which it is, except this trade is nowhere near Vucevic's actual worth. And as we speak, Nikola Vucevic is averaging 24.5 points, 11.8 rebounds, and 3.8 assists on 48% shooting and damn near 41% from 3 on 6.5 attempts a game. The perfect offensive big for this era of basketball. And to let you know how well he's been playing, Vucevic was one of the only 2 players to be named to the All-Star team, with his current team not being over 500, as the Magic is 15-29. So I think it's safe to say his value is a lot higher than this. And while I don't want to slander Wendell Carter Jr.'s name, he simply hasn't been getting it done at all for the Bulls. And for a guy that was dubbed a defensive-minded center with an offensive potential when he was drafted, he hasn't been that big of a difference maker on the defensive end. And now adding in Otto Porter's expiring and terrible contract, and the Bulls in win-now mode, this was a great deal, as they gave up a disappointing third-year guy and a horrible contract injury-prone starting forward and 2 mid to late first-round draft picks. It all boils down to a pretty lopsided deal. Now, there's no saying that being in Orlando and having more touches, Wendell Carter Jr. won't flourish, since the Magic has decided to hit the reset button again. But that's the problem. Orlando has shown a complete inability to build on talent at any point. As just a couple years ago, all 5 of these guys were on the Orlando Magic. And now, all that's turned into is Markelle Fultz, Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris, and 2 new first-round picks to watch their career die in Orlando. And while Vucevic may not be on the level of Orlando's previous all-star level bigs, his worth is still very much past this, especially in this era of basketball. So to shop him for this little makes me really concerned for Orlando's future and anyone that has to play there. Now that we're done talking about the victim, let's talk about the culprit, the Chicago Bulls. They've been making moves. With Zach's contract expiring, the Bulls needed to show him that they were serious about winning. And they took a very good first step in showing that, as they made it very clear that anyone outside of Zach, and maybe to a lesser extent Lauri Markkanen, is completely tradable. And adding an all-star big that can shoot and score on every single level will make their offense very hard to guard. And while this trade doesn't help their glaring defensive issues, keeping Wendell Carter and Otto Porter wasn't helping it either. So this trade is a win on every single level for the Chicago Bulls. And with the Bulls looking to make a playoff push, it's good to know that we'll see Vooch finally play some meaningful basketball in the postseason. So overall, it was a great move for the Bulls and a typical step in the complete wrong direction for the Orlando Magic, as always. But with that being said, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like and turn on post notifications so you don't miss a video. Hopefully, I will be posting tomorrow morning my video on the trade deadline and all the winners and losers. So if that interests you, turn on post notifications is the best way to know when I do drop it. But with all that being said, this has been FLB, that's my time, and I'm out.
much you made today. I put a paint but stick on my dinner plate. Be for a feature like how much you finna pay. You done a piece of it, which like minute made. No so grounds or kumi the uti. Need a chalomba, I need a karushi. Bustin' for me like my name is Obuzi. Faded in the boom, my jelly on nudie. Iki my show, spit on the beat like it's fully out of. I've been a V, copping from Cleves, then I go right.